So that was my dream. So I was able to reach my dream early in life. I had to make some new goals after that. So I was able to accomplish those things, but at a young age, these kids don't understand about 40, 50 people living in a building, and then a lot of the different things that you see, and just survival mode. People was like, I'm just trying to make it to the next day. And then I was trying to focus on getting out of there. And I used athletics and academics to give me an opportunity to go. So I was able to reach my dream. I was able to look at television, dream about doing it, and then I was able to do it. But what I tell young kids is it's a lot harder than you think. They don't show you them 6 o'clock workouts, lifting weights, study hard, everything you gotta do. They just see the game. And they don't know, like when you're on the road, you gotta do your schoolwork and other different things. So it's a lot more to being a complete athlete. And that was my dream. So when I got there, you still gotta work when you get there. When you get to where you think your dream is, you gotta keep on working.
Let me interject there, right?
Okay.
So those are great points. So we're talking about dreams and gun violence. So Dr. Thomason, can you talk about to our kids, how do they stay alive? Like how do they have dreams that they can come to fruition, and at the same time the climate is not one where it's clear and free for them?
So we, like, again, Left Rack City, we had tons of gun violence, drug violence, all that type of stuff. It was just the era of the 90s, 80s, 90s, right? So no matter where you live, something was going on. I found writing down goals, right, to the young men and the young ladies in this room. I'm actually happy to see these young ladies in here because I coach women's basketball now for the past 10 years, college and now high school. So I'm happy to see the representation of you young ladies in this room. But goals, right? Setting goals. And so I would write down goals. I wrote some goals that were short term and long term. But
What's that mean? Short
right,
term,
I'm about
long
to explain it. Yep. So short term would be within a year. Here's what I want to accomplish in 6 months to a year. Long term was anything 3 to 5 years and beyond, right? And so in setting those goals, it helped me to be accountable. It helped me to understand like what I was working for. So now when you're talking about gun violence, anything going on in the community, anytime something happens, right, with your friends, you tend to think back on it and you're like, oh well, dang, I got these goals. I can't get in trouble, right? I'm trying to do succeed at this. I can't hang with the wrong crowd, right? But you need these support programs, right? These support programs are safe havens to your survival, right? And so also it's who you surround yourself with, right? You probably can think about one person you probably around that you probably like, nah, I really should get away from them. Whether it's in school, whether it's in the community, whatever. And so it's who you surround yourself with matters, the goals that you set matters, and then ultimately it's about having caring people that are around you that you can get advice from. I'm huge on mentoring, and I think sometimes with this generation, and even adults sometimes too, like mentoring has a core myth to it, that it's about somebody telling you what to do, when really it's about somebody helping you along the way.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, it's about really your goals, like setting goals.
Mr. James, questions from you for Dr. Thomason?
Let me preface this, we asked that, so Dr. Thomason about their dreams. My dream was to become a social activist. My dad kind of moved me in that direction. I had 3 other brothers. And who recruited me on like that, Pittsburgh Elite School. Who recruited me was your guys. You recruited me. You recruited me about 12 years ago when there was gun violence in the park that we participated. And I was being recruited by young people, so I can help young people achieve their dreams. And I think I'm at that point now. I'm gonna keep my questions short because I know this is a young kid. You don't even need to stay in the classroom for more than 35, 45 minutes. So those are my dreams. So and I put this together knowing that right now at this point, because I've been very active. So you can read my resume. I used to be a fundraiser for Stacey Abrams down in Atlanta as well as New York. And so I've been all over the country. And I know it's kind of hard to do the kind of work that I do. I get a lot of challenges, believe me, I get challenges, so I'll keep kind of short. So to fall back and to piggyback on question to Dr. Thomason. Dr. Thomason, we have both been around, so has Dad, many years and many times. I see, can we define this as a gun culture?
I don't think this culture is a gun culture. I think guns have always been had a huge issue in our communities. I think we're seeing it more prevalent based upon media and news. The guns trafficking up the Northeast and being moved into our communities has always been there. Anytime, I mean, I've participated in gun drives, you get a whole gym of tables with guns, you know what I mean? I think you have younger kids who are getting their hands on two guns, and it's become a wild, wild west. Plus also it's gun laws, right? Gun laws is a huge conversation in our country right now, and so that's part of it. But what we really have to look at is the systematic issues that are occurring, which I know y'all like systematic issues, what is this? But it is the reality of our communities. When you have poverty and no jobs, you have violence. Because now it's the ability I have to find ways to get what I can't afford, right? And so that's why sports, that's why OZM, that's why all the support programs that you can find in schools, your AAU programs, your local teams, that's why those things become important, because it provides you with things and your friends that they may not get at home. It provides another layer of support for you to be able to succeed. But whenever you have think about all the jobs, like city jobs or some of you jobs that kids had. Now you just have kids in the street because we're cutting budgets, because budget cuts, politics, and who's in office. So the ripple effect is you find yourself in a place where now there's no resources, and that's part of the challenge. Yes, sir.
I think we all learned from the tragedy that happened in Buffalo, recently. It's also loans, who don't participate in activities that are just not involved in athletics or band or other, social interactions that are just focused on, the internet, and they have no outside support system or people around them.
I agree.
And they're very suggestive of, of what they see, because they have no mentors. They have nobody to look up to, and they're looking up to somebody that's online putting ideas in their head.